Hello everybody, welcome back to Destiny 2. Sorry for my absence. Today we're going to be going over a Hunter Lucky Pants build, actually two variations of the build, using either Warden's Law, which is the new or the reprised new heavy burst hand cannon frame that shoots 2 bullets, or using Malfeasance as your exotic. So yeah, there are two variations of this build. Like I said, you can use this on Strand, or you can use this on Solar. Excuse me, Stasis, not Strand. Stasis or Solar. I prefer using it on Stasis, though Solar is probably better, quite honestly. I just like Stasis. We're going to go over both versions of the build. They're basically the same thing. You literally can just swap it over like that. But yeah, we're going to get right into this, starting with the subclasses. For Revenant here, we're using Marksman's Dodge, Triple Jump, Withering Blade, Duskfield Nade. This is super important. In terms of aspects, we're using Touch of Winter and Grim Harvest. In terms of fragments, we're using Whisper of Chains, so while you're near a frozen target or friendly stasis crystal, you take reduced damage. This is just to add some DR to our build. We're using Whisper Rending, which is the most important fragment we can use for this build. Primary ammo weapons do increased damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. That frozen targets is the important bit here. Whisper of Conduction, nearby stasis shards track to your position. This also gives us resilience and intellect. Whisper of Shard, shattering a stasis crystal, temporary boosts your grenade's recharge rate. Shattering additional stasis crystals increase the duration of this benefit. It's another reason we're using Duskfield. With something like Touch of Winter, it gives us a crystal at the base of our grenade. And then we are also using Whisper of Torment. You gain grenade energy each time you take damage from targets. This is just another way to get our Duskfield back even faster. On the Solar build here, we are using a pretty standard setup, using Gambler's Dodge. You can also use Marksman's Dodge. Your choice of knife, I recommend something like Knife Trick or Lightweight Knife. Your choice of grenade, I recommend Healing. Aspects, we're using Knock 'em Down and On Your Mark. You can also use Gunpowder Gamble if you really want to. I definitely recommend these two, however. In terms of fragments, we're using Ember of Ashes, Ember of Torches, so powered melee attacks will make you radiant. That's why I recommend something like Knife Trick. Ember of Singeing, Ember of Solace, and your choice of either Ember of Benevolence, which is nice, or you can swap that or Ember of Solace out for something like Ember of Empyrean. Well, you're using a solar weapon to apply Radiant as well. Or Refreshing Radiant, I should say. Your choice of Super, Blade Barrage, or Marksman are very good for this build as well. Now, the reason I am using Stasis is when you freeze a target, it will do extra damage, kind of like Radiant effect. And I just like using Stasis for the crowd control that it has. In terms of armor mods, on the helmet, we are using Kinetic Siphon, Heavy Ammo Finder, and Scout. On the gauntlets, using Heavy Handed. This is good for both versions of the build. You can also have things like Momentum Transfer or Bolstering Detonation, Impact Induction, things like that. On the chest piece, we are using resist mods. You can also use reserves if you really want to. On the boots here, we're using double kinetic weapon surge. You could go triple if you got rid of your armor mod here, your stat mod, but I'm using recuperation in the third slot instead. Obviously, we're using Lucky Pants. On the cloak, we're using time dilation and Reaper. Lucky Pants, when you ready a fully loaded hand cannon that deals kinetic damage or a damage type that matches your subclass energy type, each hit from that hand cannon increases the damage of the next shot for a short time against a combatant. Hand cannons ready faster and are more accurate immediately after swapping them, and provides a small benefit to airborne effectiveness. It also will reload the hand cannon because it's got a holster built in. So yes, this is super nice. The reason this is so nice with something like Warden's Law or Malfeasance, one, it buffs Malfeasance's explosive shadow perk as well. And why it's so good is this has it says 19, a 20 mag round, or a 20 mag that will allow you to fire this for longer without having to reload and wasting the perk. Similar situation with something like Warden's Law here. This shoots 2 bullets, which will proc the perk twice. so it will build up the perk as fast as something like Malfeasance will, if not faster. So this is a good option if you want to use something like Galahorn, Leviathan's Breath, Lament, any heavy special or heavy weapon, or exotic, excuse me, any exotic heavy or special weapon will allow you to use this in lieu of Malfeasance. In terms of the roll you want on this, I recommend something like Extended Mag or Acarize rounds with Force Time to Charm in either Frenzy or Vorpal. I say Vorpal because this will definitely mainly be a like champion killer or boss killer here. So having something that's up all the time for that is really good. Frenzy is also really good just in general play, I would say. So this is probably the best if you're just using this, all the time, and it's more your main weapon instead of just for boss, swapping at boss melts. I recommend either something like Backup Mag, Major Spec, or Boss Spec. I have Backup Mag just so it gives us those extra, like 2-3 bullets, which is really helpful. Reload Speedmaster can also help as well, but we are using something like Marksman's Dodge, so that's not as important. In terms of other weapons, it's really up to you. You can use something for ad clear, which this build can struggle with, just because, yes, you have good crowd control, but you don't have ways to kill those fast. So something like Forbearance is really nice. In terms of heavy weapons, you can use Galley if you're on a team. Leviathan's Breath is pretty underrated. I wouldn't say it's underrated anymore. So I guess that's not true, but Lament, also very good. Tractor Cannon if you really want to. Stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just going to show some gameplay of the current Lost Sector, and you guys can see for yourself how absolutely busted this build can be on Hunter. I'll show the gameplay loop as well in that. So I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys give this a go. I'm back making some videos on Destiny and some other games. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys stick around, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. I also forgot to mention on something like this build, you can run double primary, treating your hand cannon more like a special weapon, or you can also run something like a trace rifle as well.